taking a wrong turn again. To get to the cave, but we're having a hard time. These trails have changed so much in 1 year that every way we try, he can't make it, or we can't make it, or gonna turn around and try another way. I mean, it's really changed a lot down here just in a year. It's amazing. Right track now. Yeah, there we go. You can feel the cool air already. So you already knew where you were? I was getting so turned around.
Once I saw the creek, I knew.
Yeah, I thought I could follow that other creek up here, but that was a different creek, I guess. So this is the famous cave at the Blue Holler Off-Road Park, or at least what everybody calls the cave. It's really a cool attraction. Everybody that comes to this off-road park, this is the first thing they ask is, how do I get to the cave? So if you make the visit down, you gotta find this feature first. Check it out, hang out here for a little while. People come up in here and listen to the music for a little while and have a drink or two and talk and take in the sights. I mean, it really is beautiful. And there are other features at the park that are cool also, but this one hands down is something you're not going to see just everywhere. Yeah, so we had a pretty good time. Honestly, it was just too dusty. It's been really dry all summer into the fall here. The only rainfall that we have gotten around here is what we got with the remnants of what used to be Hurricane Helene. I'm sure you've heard of that. The remnants of Helene came through, gave us a couple inches of rain, but that's really the only substantial rain that we've had in months around here. So, you know, the off-road parks, obviously when you go to an off-road park, you're going to get dirty. You expect that. That's the fun in it. But when you're in the middle of a drought like this, the off-road parks start to become not so much fun, because around here we have clay in the soil, and when it really dries out, it hardens like concrete. And so the trails will just beat you to death, and the areas that aren't so worn down, that are still kind of loose, they just turn into powder. And so you get that dust, you're breathing it in, it gets all over your clothes, gets all over everything, it covers the windshield, you can't hardly see. So it's either beating you to death, or it's so dusty you can't hardly stand it. One of the two. You probably saw in that one clip where my son was on the drag strip there that the dust is just crazy. So anyway, we ended up staying for 3 or 4 hours, and then we left. But the weather will improve. You know, we'll get some rain here in the next couple of months and get some more water and moisture back in the ground, and then the off-road parks around here will be worth visiting again. But you know, if you live anywhere around Kentucky, like I said, you need to go check out the Blue Holler off-road park. It is a really fun place, really cool features along the trail system to go see. It's great for Jeeps, side-by-sides, ATVs. I guess you could ride dirt bikes around there, but in my opinion, it's not really the perfect park for dirt bikes, because you got hills with rock ledges and things, and rock ledges just aren't much fun on a dirt bike. They can kind of throw you, you know. But anyway, check out the Blue Holler Off-Road Park. It's a lot of fun. So in other news, you remember the other day we put some LED headlight bulbs in this Ford truck, and we were having an issue where the fog lights were screwing everything up. So if we left the fog lights off, then the low beams and high beams worked perfectly. But if you turn the fog lights on, then it screwed everything up to where we could not use the low beams anymore, which is kind of weird. So I did a little bit of digging and research. I actually contacted the vendor where we got the bulbs from, and they said, oh yeah, we forgot to tell you, you're supposed to buy the little modules to go with the bulbs. So apparently they've got these modules that you plug in line between the bulb and the harness on the truck, and that kind of cures everything. You know, I know that on the newer trucks you have to use these things because they're so sophisticated, you know, as far as the wiring architecture and everything on board. But I guess I was just kind of thinking that since this truck is almost 20 years old, maybe the wiring is totally different and I could get away without those modules, but obviously I could not. So let me bring the camera over and show you what we did to fix this issue. Let me try and get down in here where I can see one of them. All right, so I got to cut this zip tie, but there's one of the modules right down there, and you can see it's got a couple little pigtails there. Boy, that's a really terrible view. Sorry. But all it really does is you've got a module in line there, and it just plugs up in line. Like I said, you just plug one end into the truck's wiring, the other end into your headlight bulb, your LED headlight bulb. And of course, you obviously have to put one on both sides. Here is the one, if I can get this thing to focus. There's the one on the other side. And that's actually a little bit better view there, because you can see where it plugs in. And so now all I got to do is finish zip tying this stuff up securely and out of the way. But what that did was it fixed that issue. So now, you know, I tested it and I can turn the fog lights on and still use low beam and high beam both up here. Actually, the way it should work, I forgot to check this. When I turn the high beams on, it should kick the fog lights off. Anyway, I'll do some more testing, but the main thing was we wanted to be able to use the low beams with the fog lights, and now we can. So those resistors were like 45 bucks, I think, for both, and they seem to have cured the issue. So FYI, if you're putting LED headlight bulbs in one of these Ford trucks, apparently it doesn't matter what model year it is. You probably should just go ahead and buy those modules that go with the bulbs at the time of purchase, and that way you can go ahead and stick everything together at the same time, and you won't have any flickering or any funny issues like we ran into. So that's the cure for that. Yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of work on this old F-150. Honestly, had a new windshield put in it the other day, and they actually had a factory Ford windshield available. Almost 20-year-old truck, and I was able to get a factory Ford windshield for it. See if the camera will zoom in here. Yeah, check that out. It's a Ford Carlight windshield. The old one, the issue with it was so old that it was getting a lot of grooves in it. I mean, the glass was just kind of wearing out. It was weird. Had a lot of grooves in it. So at nighttime, you know, oncoming traffic, you know, the headlights would kind of glare really bad. You know, when you were driving the truck, it was almost like you were looking through a prism or something, kind of strange. It was just dangerous, basically. So I got the windshield replaced. This is turning out to be a pretty nice truck. We've replaced a lot of stuff on it, done a lot of work on it. But I think it's just about ready to go. It's going to make a great first vehicle for our son. You know, give him some time to learn behind the wheel of a pickup truck. Teach him young, right? All right, fellas, that's all I got for now. I'm going to head on into the house, get some dinner going. We will talk to you later. Thanks for watching.